Online to modular.
Ayan, for the meantime, since hindi ako nakapag-upload nitong mga nakarang araw, actually wala pa ako na-upload kasi wala pa akong magamit. Okay. So, for the meantime, dito muna ako magdi-discuss ng mga lesson. So, last time, your topic is all about factoring. Now, this week naman, it's all about quadratic equation pa din. Pero, quadratic equation. But this time or this week, it's all about completing the square. Yan. So, this week you will know how to complete the square because for your information, there are many ways to solve quadratic equation, hindi lang factoring. Kasi hindi lahat ng equation na quadratic is nafa-factor. Now, for example, before I will give my example, first of all, ano ba yung completing the square? First thing to remember about completing the square is meron siyang formula. Completing the square is b over 2 square. Pagpasensyahan nyo na yung sulat ko kasi mahirap magsulat sa laptop. Yan, ito yung tatandaan natin kapag nagko-completing the square tayo. Ngayon, ano ba ang purpose ng completing the square na to? It makes your quadratic equation a perfect square equation. For example, you have x square plus 6x. Ngayon, pag ganyan, you want this equation to be a perfect square equation or to be a perfect square factor. Ngayon, what you're going to do is this one, b over 2 square. Again, if hindi ko pa na-discuss to sa mga ibang hindi pa nakakalam, ganito kasi yan. Sir, bakit may b? Ano yung letter b dyan? Now, sa quadratic equation kasi may tinatawag tayo standard form. Standard form. Ngayon, anong standard form? Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, this will be our standard form. Ngayon, if for example, a quadratic equation is 2x squared plus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0, there are 3 variables na pwede mong mahanap dito, which is letter A, letter B, and letter C. Yan. Ngayon, since ito, very obvious, letter A is this one, yung katabi ni x squared. So, letter A is equal to 2. Para naman si B, yung katabi ni x, which is 3. Tapos, obviously, the last one, but the value of C will be the whole number, yung pinaka-last term. Yan. Pwede din siya mag-rumble-rumble. For example, meron kang x squared minus 3x is equal to 4. And there are cases na ganyan, hindi siya naka-standard form. Ang gagawin mo lang, you will make this equation in a standard form. Now, how? You'll just transpose. So, you have x squared minus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Siyempre, kapag transpose mo to, lilipat mo sa kabila, from positive magiging, dito pala, from positive 4 magiging negative. Yan, negative 4. Of course, since nakalipat na siya, maging negative na, wala nang matitira sa kabila, 0 na yun. Now, what will be the value of A? Kapag ganyan na letter lang ang nakikita nyo lagi, may invisible na 1 dyan. It's considered 1x squared. Pero hindi na natin sinusulat yung 1 kasi nga, pag ganyan, automatic may 1 na siyang katabi. So, A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 3. Consider the sign. Salad nyo yung sign. And C is equal to negative 4. Ganyan. Yan lang naman yun. That's all about standard form. Now, completing the square. Going back. Now, since our formula for completing the square is b over 2 square, ang mangyayari niyan, if you're going to complete the square of this one, itong equation natin na to, ang gagawin mo lang is, okay, b over 2 square. Pangit. b over 2 square. Ngayon, b over 2, ano ang value ng b? Of course, dito, again, uulitin ko, ang value ng b lagi is yung may variable na x. Si x squared, that's letter A. Pag x lang, b. Okay? Pag whole number, letter C. So, dito, 6x, ito yung value ng b. So, b is equal to 6. So, that's 6 over 2 square. Now, dito, anong unahin mo? Are you going to tawag dito? Are you going to simplify the exponent first or isi-simplify mo siya? In this case, kapag pwede mong i-simplify, you simplify muna. 6 over 2, pwede mo siyang i-simplify. In short, pwede mo siyang i-divide. That's the one function of a fraction can be converted as division, tama? So, that's 6 divided by 2. 6 over 2 is 3. Or 3 over 1. Pero since whole number siya, pwede ng 3. That's 3 square. Is equal now to 9. That's 3 square is 9. Hindi siya 3 times 2 ha. That's 3 times 3. 3 square is 9. So, ang gagawin mo kay 9, gagawin mo siyang x squared plus 6x plus 9. Ganyan yung gagawin mo kapag completing the square. Para itong equation na to, this is what you call perfect square factor. Which is, ang ibig sabihin nun, pag i-factor mo siya, parehas yung gagamitin mo. That's x plus 3, x plus 3. Or in short, you have x plus 3 square. Kasi dalawa siya. That's the purpose of completing the square. It makes your quadratic equation a perfect square factor. Yun. Ngayon, how will you use quadratic equation by completing the square in finding the value of x? For example, x squared plus 10x. Sabihin mo ng minus 4 is equal to 0. This one kasi, there are cases talaga na hindi mo pwedeng i-factor lahat. You can never factor every quadratic equation. There are some lang na pwede mong i-factor. There are some na hindi mo pwedeng i-factor. Or meron man siyang factor, mahirap siyang kunin. Tulad nito, if we're going to apply the rules of factoring na nakalagay dyan sa module wherein you're going to find two numbers wherein pag inad mo, magiging 10 and pag minultiply mo, magiging negative 4. That's very impossible to find two numbers where when you add them, it will become positive 10 pero kapag minultiply mo sila, magiging negative 4. Now, what are you going to do kung walang factors or hindi pwede ang factoring? Ang gagawin mo ngayon is completing the square. We're going to use this formula to solve or to find the value of x of this equation or quadratic equation. Ngayon, paano? First step is to complete the square. But how are we going to complete the square? First step is separate mo muna tong value ng c. Make sure na ang may iwan lang sa isang side is si a at si b. So, first step, transpose. Meron kang x squared plus 10x. Ilipat mo muna sa 4. Positive 4. Ganyan. Transpose ko lang si negative 4 sa kabila. Kaya naging positive 4. Now, complete the square. How are we going to complete the square? Use the formula. So, meron kang b over 2 square. Now, the value of b is 10. So, you have 10 over 2 square. Next one, simplify the fraction. You have 10 over 2 is 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Square. You have now 5 square is equal to 25. Ngayon, si 25 yung magko-complete ng square kay x square plus 10x. It will make this part a perfect square factor or perfect square equation. So, you have to write x square plus 10x plus 25 is equal to 4. And since pinag-uusapan natin dito is equation, pag sinabi mo equation, equal. Parang yan, x is equal to y. Dapat, since equal sila, kung anong meron kay x, dapat magkakaroon din si y. Parang kung anong meron kay Pedro, dapat meron din kay Juan. Ang ginawa ko dito, naglagay ako ng plus 25 to complete the square. Since naglagay ako ng plus 25 dito sa kabila, dapat maglalagay din ako ng plus 25 dito sa kabila. Or kung ano yung lalabas sa form, kung ano yung sagot na lalabas pag ginamit mo yung completing the square, this one, 25, the answer that you will get is 25. Add both side. Hindi lang dapat dito sa kabila. Dapat mayroon din sa kabila. So, your equation now will be x squared plus 10x plus 25 is equal to 4 plus 25. And this equation can now be factored kasi nga naging perfect squared na siya. So, meron kang, ano yung factor nito? You have x plus 5. Tapos x plus 5 is equal now to 4 plus 25. You have, tawag dito, 4 plus 25 is 29. Yan. Gaya ng ginawa ko kanina, since parehas silang dalawa, pwede kong i-simplify yan ng x plus 5. Or kung kaya nyo na, kahit wag nyo na ilagay ito, itong part na to, itong dalawang to, irekta nyo na dito sa x plus 5 square. So, equal now to 29. Now, ang goal natin dito is to find the value of x. Sa quadratic equation, usually we have two values of x katulad ng factor natin. Di ba pag nagpa-factor tayo? Pag pina-factor natin yung quadratic equation, meron tayong dalawang value ng x. Same as true with completing the square because parehas lang naman yung sinosolve nyo. Quadratic equation pa rin to. Ibang method lang ng pagsasolve. Now, how are you going to find the value of x of this one? Dapat, ang maiwan lang sa isang side si x. So, paano mo tatanggalin yung 5 na yan, itong square na to, pupunta mo sa kabila para matira lang x. Ngayon, first, we need to remove this one, itong exponent, by extracting both side. When you extract, you have to square root both side. Para makancel tong square root, makakancel tong exponent, ang matitira lang dito is x plus 5 is equal now to square root of 29. Next, since x plus 5 na yan, ito, pwede mo nang i-transpose sa kabila. You will be having x now is equal to negative 5. Positive, negative 29. Now, if you're wondering, sir, bakit positive, negative 29? Wala namang positive, negative yan. Pag nag-i-square kasi kayo, automatic may positive, negative yun. Hindi lang natin pinapakita. Positive, negative, square root lagi yan. Kasi for example, if you're going to get the square root of 4, yun muna, square root of 4. Anong square root of 4? Sir, 2. That's correct. Pero, pwede ding sagot, negative 2. Bakit negative 2 pwedeng sagot? Bakit pwedeng sagot ang negative 2? Dalawa yan. It's positive and negative. Kasi when you say square root, maghahanap ka ng um, dalawang number na kapag inad mo sa sarili niya, ito yung magiging sagot, which is 4. So, what are the numbers? Positive 2, because 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Also, at the same time, negative 2 times negative 2, 4 din. Kaya automatic lagi ang sagot mo dyan. For example, ulit, square root of 9, ang magiging sagot mo dyan, positive negative 3. Because positive 3 times positive 3, 9. Negative 3 times negative 3, also 9. Kaya may positive negative yun. O ha? So, sir, isa lang naman yung value ng x sa sagot. Isa lang. Yes, that's the role of positive and negative. Pag-ihiwalayin mo silang dalawa. Ngayon, ang dalawang values of x mo dito, x is equal now to negative 5, positive square root of 29, x now is equal to negative 5 minus square root of 29. Ganyan siya. So, these are the two values of x. You have negative 5 plus square root of 29, negative 5 minus square root of 29. Kailangan nyo pa bang kunin yung square root ng 29? Magsaset ako ng ground rules. Pag hindi siya perfect square, hayaan nyo na lang. Ano ba yung mga perfect square number? Meron kang 4, 9, 16, 25. Yung mga perfect square number. Wherein kapag in-square nyo siya, full number yung magiging sagot. 1 pa pala. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Yan yung mga perfect square number. Ulitin ko, kapag hindi siya perfect square number, hayaan nyo na lang na ganyan. Nakuha? Magbibigay ako ng example na perfect square number siya. Teka lang. For example, meron kang x squared minus 4x minus 5 plus sabihin mo na plus 13. Hindi. Minus 5. For example, you have x squared minus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. So, how will you solve this one using completing the square? Same rule. Separate mo muna yung last term, which is c. Lipat mo sa kabila. You have x squared minus 4x is equal to positive 5. Next, completing the square. P over 2 square, wherein yung b mo negative 4 over 2 square. Sa pagsusimplify, parang, or pagdi-divide, parang multiplication lang yan. Kapag negative yung isa, positive yung isa, negative yung magiging sagot kapag nag-divide ka. So, negative 4 over 2 or negative 4 divided by 2, simplify this one, magiging negative 2 square. Now, negative 2 square is positive 4. Kasi nga, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Ulitin ko anong gagawin mo dito sa sagot ng completing the square mo. You add them both side. Add 4 both side. So, you have x square minus 4x plus 4. Ito na yung add mo. Is equal now to 5 plus 4. Yan. Now, this one becomes a perfect square trinomial pala. Sorry. Perfect square factor. Perfect square trinomial. Now, the factor of this one will be x minus 2. Kung napapansin nyo, ito yung pagbabasehan nyo lagi. Ito. Kung ano yung ilalagay nyo dito. Kung negative to, negative dapat to. X minus 2 square. If mapapansin nyo ulit dito, ipaparealize ko sa inyo. Ang sagot natin kanina dito is 5. Kung ano yun nandyan, yun yung ilalagay mo dito. Positive 5 yun, positive 5 to. Same as true with this one. Negative 2, negative 2. Is equal now to 5 plus 4, 9. Ngayon, square root both side. Cancel, cancel. X now, minus 2. Is equal now to square root of 9 is positive, negative 3. Transpose mo yung negative 2. X now is equal to positive 2, positive negative 3. O, negative. O, from negative, transpose, naging positive. So, what are the two values of x? Ang dalawang value ng x is, x now is equal to 2, positive muna, 3, kasi sa kabila, 2 minus 3. So, you have this one, x is equal to 5, and here we have x is equal to negative 1. So, these are the two values of x. That's your using completing the square. Again, kung hindi pwede ng factoring or nahihirapan kayong mag-factor, kasi kahit pwede siya i-factor, pwede mo rin siyang i-completing the square. So, kung nahihirapan kayong mag-factor, pwede mo gamitin itong completing the square. Yan. So, that's it for your completing the square. Abangan nyo yung susunod na mga videos regarding your lessons about completing the square. More examples will be given soon. Pagpasensyahan nyo na kung ganito muna yung nagamit ko kasi wala pa talaga akong camera na mahiram or na magamit. Kasi kapag cellphone, feeling ko malabo. So, sana naintindihan nyo yung lesson yun and good luck.